we are now living through the worst natural disaster to impact the state of Vermont since 1927.
Devastating flooding across Vermont and New England. Many towns are no longer underwater, but the damage still remains. Streets and sidewalks just covered in mud, hundreds of buildings damaged. But how did it all happen? Right now, we're going to dig into the rain that brought us to today, what cleanup looks like, and why we could see more incidents like this. We're going to start with why folks in Vermont are not in the clear just yet. So WFMY News 2 meteorologist Christian Morgan is here to give us a little context. So just how much rain has Vermont gotten in the past few days, and then what does the rest of the week hold?
I'll tell you what, Tanya, these folks are still not done with this. And even when the rain subsides, flooding is an issue that can still persist even days after the rain comes to an end. So let's take a look up to our north, of course, in Vermont. And I just want to show you how much rain. I've only put the totals on here since Saturday, or since Friday night, I should say. But some of these areas in Vermont have seen upwards of 10 inches of rain or above that in some locations. Just plotting a couple 9-inch totals here, 7-inch totals, 7-inch totals there as well. But there's plenty more rain on the way. In fact, according to the Weather Prediction Center, some of these folks that have been hardest hit could still see anywhere from 4 to 5 inches of rain more on top of what they've already had over the next 5 to 7 days. And of course, those estimates can change a lot. But when you factor in all that rain, the streams, the creeks, the rivers, and all that kind of stuff that is still flooding will flood even days after more rain finally comes to an end. So they're going to be cleaning up for a while.
Well, Vermont's governor gave an update on the situation earlier today and was joined by the public safety commissioner, a FEMA administrator, and lawmakers as well. They say since Sunday, over 200 people have been rescued. Lamoille County appears to be the hardest hit area, with 32 people and numerous animals rescued just last night. As people begin to pick up, the overwhelming warning from all of the officials today is that people in Vermont are just not out of danger yet.
This may not be over. With rain in the forecast and nowhere for it to go, we could see waters rise again. So it's critical Vermonters be aware of their surroundings, remain vigilant, and plan ahead.
U.S. Representative Becca Balint addressed some of the challenges the state faces in the flooding aftermath, asking residents to lean on one another.
But on the day-to-day, what I'm asking Vermonters to do is be gentle with one another. This is a difficult time for so many, for families, for individuals, for small businesses, and also for farmers.
The damage across the state, it's extensive. Ryan Breton went to one of the hardest hit areas to talk to folks that are impacted by the floods.
This is Vermont Route 103 in the center of Ludlow, and for nearly 24 hours, this town was cut off after heavy rain pushed mud and rocks right down into the center of town. Cleanup in Ludlow, Vermont. A process that may go on for months or even longer.
I can't even explain it. I mean, you see like landslides going down here. It's just, it honestly, like a loss of words. It's just insane.
Henry Swenson came to town storm chasing and couldn't get out.
And I tried to get out of town last night to go back home, and the roads were completely washed out, so I actually got stuck.
The water Monday morning rushing into the valley, inundating Sam's Steakhouse like a storm surge in a hurricane.
I don't think the reality has set in yet as to everything that has happened.
Andrew Mullen is the chef and owns several businesses in town.
It was actually underwater for almost 7 feet underwater. That's how much water there was.
Andrew getting an alert on his Ring cameras around 5 o'clock in the morning. By then, it was too late.
And I had people sending me footage from my own security cameras of like ice machines flipping, low boys flipping, and then just watch the water rise to where it was literally a foot from the ceiling.
Okemo Mountain and the surrounding businesses at the center of the town, now in the center of a massive mud and rock slide.
What happened here is, I'm assuming it's mostly just because of the mountain above us. All the stuff just came down, and it's incredible.
Jajan Garganis lives down the road in Springfield and has worked at Okemo as a ski instructor and lift operator.
There's no words for this. I mean, wow. That's about it.
All the water that came through here now flowing into the Black River, then into the Connecticut, headed south where the river will crest Wednesday. Back in Ludlow, despite a massive challenge, there is hope.
Don't worry, we'll be ready for winter.
Even if the cleanup isn't complete. This is not the first time Ludlow has looked like this. In fact, back in 2011, Tropical Storm Irene dumped buckets of rain doing the same thing. The difference this time, it didn't take a tropical storm or hurricane to cause damage like this.
Well, yesterday there were concerns that a dam could overflow for the first time since it was built. Luckily, officials say water levels at the dam are now going down and it is no longer a threat at the moment. Now, despite that, disaster averted, streets were still submerged, stranding hundreds of people in the state over the last few days. Crews from North Carolina, including 8 members of the Greensboro Fire Department's Swiftwater Rescue Team, headed to Vermont to help with search and rescue efforts. They're using boats and other equipment to rescue folks from flooded homes and those stranded in dangerous locations. The team got to Vermont on Monday, and their deployment is expected to last up to 10 days. Rescue crews have reported over 200 responses since Sunday. Some reasons include home evacuations, while many involve failed attempts to just simply drive through the floodwaters. Remember, you should never attempt to walk or drive through flooded areas. 6 inches of moving water is enough to make you fall or make you lose control of your car. So play it safe, turn around, don't drown. Now, as we see more weather disasters like the recent flooding, the conversation about climate change continues to grow, and it ranges from intense heat waves and droughts to disastrous hurricanes and tornadoes. Not only are we feeling the effects here in Greensboro, but really all over the world. This morning, FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell discussed her thoughts about these weather trends in the disaster brief with Vermont Governor Phil Scott.
Climate change is a factor, I think, in what we are seeing as a result of this increase in the amount of rain that's coming in, not just an event like this, but even in our hurricanes.
Now, as flooding becomes a growing concern all over, the North Carolina Department of Emergency Management says you need to prepare now. They suggest making an emergency kit, a family action plan. You can also make home adjustments like raising the furnace and the water heater and considering putting check valves on your drains. Of course, that's going to do it for us for right now. Of course, we'll be keeping an eye on all of this situation.